all our results, but the conflict of interest occurs when an individual can be anyone. It is basically the one who is conducting research. So अगर उसके जो personal interest हैं or financial or potential, so they influence the results कि मेरा result कुछ आ रहा है, but somebody has told me like if you write these results I will pay you this much, or you give these results, or my institution is saying कि आप जल्दी जल्दी इसको खत्म कर दो, चाहे आप जो रिजल्ट्स हैं उनको फैब्रिकेट कर दो. So that is known as conflict of interest when you don't know whether to give the genuine data or to fabricate it and give it. So the examples of conflict of interests have been given. First are the financial ties. Financial ties means receiving funding, grants, or personal payments from organizations that may benefit from the research outcomes. So, if anyone is giving grants for my research, or funding the research, or personally paying the researcher, so that they benefit from the research outcomes. जैसे मैंने आपको एक वैक्सीन की पिछली बार एग्जांपल दी थी, तो इस तरह का कोई प्रोडक्ट या कोई और चीज जो कि किसी कंपनी को या किसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को उसके फेवर में चाहिए हो, और वो इंडिविजुअल को बोले कि यू मैनिपुलेट द रिसर्च results, that is a conflict of interest due to financial reasons. Then it can be due to the personal relationships. Relationship means collaborating with friends, family members, or colleagues where they may affect impartiality, right? So if I'm collaborating research with my friend or some of my family members or colleagues, then maybe because of their influence or because it is beneficial for them, this may affect the impartiality of the research and my results may be biased. Third point is academic competition. Situations where researchers compete for recognition, funding, or career advancement leading to biased reporting. So at times there is pressure on the person from the institution, yes, that you should have so many of your papers published, or you should have so many of patents, and maybe it is also related to their advancement in their career. So in these type of situations also the researcher tends to manipulate the research. So such research such interests where relevant must be declared to editors by researchers, authors, and reviewers. So if you feel there is conflict of interest in whatever you are reporting, and if you think it is relevant, you can mention it to the editors wherever you are giving your paper by for publication, or authors and reviewers. Editors should also disclose relevant conflicts of interest to their readers. If in doubt, disclose. So, in the long run, maybe you become the editor of some journal, and in case you also feel that some of the papers you are mentioning in your journals, that should be mentioned, that should be clearly mentioned in your journal or book, you should share with your readers. And sometimes editors may need to withdraw from the review and selection process for the relevant submission. And at times when you feel like, for example, if some of my family member has submitted a paper and I don't want to be biased, and at that time if I am the editor of a particular journal, I can just withdraw from the review and selection of paper. And wherever possible you should mention that there was conflict of interest in this study. Now, why conflict of interest is a problem? Why it is a problem? Because it introduces bias. Bias means your bent of mind. Like, for example, we say this teacher is biased, he is favoring so and so student. So if there is conflict of interest, which I have told can be due to various reasons, that can introduce a bias or your bent in your study design. कि अगर मुझे पता है कि इस टाइप के रिजल्ट्स चाहिए तो मे बी आई do not use study design A. I used study design B to get the desired result, although study design is suitable for my research. Then it can be in your data collection also. You can fabricate data, you can falsify data if you know that I have to get these results. Or at the time of data collection, data interpretation, and reporting of results. So conflict of research, basically it is a problem at every stage of results as it introduces bias at different stages. Now, how to manage the conflict of interest? So disclosure, as I already told you that the researchers must disclose any potential conflicts of interest to their institution, funding bodies, and in their publications. Full transparency about the potential conflicts helps maintain trust and credibility in the research point. So, if you have mentioned below the research that the data number actually had to be this, but had to be changed because of the funding agency, that will bring transparency in your research, and whoever is reading it, he will trust your research and it will maintain credibility of your research point. And then institutions should have clear policies and procedures for managing conflicts of interest, including guidelines for disclosure and review. So the institution, every institution has its own policy. So there should be clear policies and procedure. There should be a procedure also that if there is a conflict of interest, how it has to be managed. And there should be guidelines for disclosure and review. Next is the importance of managing conflict of interest. So we had already studies that conflict of interest leads to bias. So it if we manage conflict of interest, it can help us to maintain objectivity. It helps to bring transparency. Like I already told you, like if I have done something and I write it just below my research and I disclose that I have done this thing, this helps to build trust among the scientific community and the public, and it reduces the risk of unethical behavior and research misconduct. So this we have studied what is scientific conduct and what is misconduct. So if we prevent the manage the conflict of interest, it can help us maintain objectivity, transparency, and it can help to prevent scientific misconduct. So this will help to, if there is misconduct, we will select only the positive results, right? So you will just report the positive result and suppress the negative or null findings. If you null means ki neither yes or no. For example, boys have higher IQ than girls. So null means ki both have the same. Whatever hypothesis I have given, that is not concluded. So the conflict of interest, it can lead to the selective reporting of positive result and suppressing the null or negative findings. And this is again we have discussed, it undermines scientific credibility. Peer review integrated. What is peer review? Yes, what is peer review? What is your peer group? What is peer group? You have heard of the word peer? Anyone?
I'm the person who are in the same group.
Persons who are in the same group. That
Group,
is
yes, ma'am. Peer
generally the
group.
peer. Yes, peer group. So peer review means whenever you give your article for publication, the good journals have a peer review group. For example, 4 or 5 members right from the field of education only. They are given your papers and they will review the paper and give suggestions. Generally it is a blind review. I told you earlier also, I think in one of the classes, that the name of the author and the institution is hidden and only the title and the full paper is shared with the reviewers. The reviewers then give their feedback, which is again shared with the author to bring about the desired changes. So, if conflict of interest is there, then it will undermine the peer review integrity. Generally, journals which are peer reviewed are considered to be authentic. Then, public trust in science and medicine. This example I shared with you, linked to unethical research behavior, right? So then it may motivate the researchers to manipulate or fabricate data, overstate conclusions, hide adverse effects, favor sponsor interests over scientific truth. So if you have a conflict of interest, which may be influenced by your personal interest, your finances, or your institutional policies, it will motivate the researcher to fabricate data, overstate conclusion. Like my result might be little, but I might tend to inflate it कि yes ये हो सकता है, which might really not be true. Hide adverse. Adverse means dangerous effect. For example, especially in the field of medicine, if somebody is doing research and he is paid by the pharma company to write in the favor of the product, right, he may hide the bad effects of the drug which can lead to adverse effect. Adverse means bad effects, and favor sponsor interests over scientific truth. So that person may hide the scientific truth and he will favor the sponsor interest ki so and so person is sponsoring me, so my study should be in his favor. So these all are the adverse effects of conflicts of interests. Then we come to the publication ethics. So now you are going to publish your work, going to publish your thesis, you are going to publish research papers. So we have already studied ethics a lot. So as the name suggests, publication ethics refers to the principles and standards that guide the behavior of individuals involved in the publication process, including author, editors, reviewers, and public publishers. So publication ethics जो है, that is not only related with me just because I am publishing a paper, but it is also related with the author who is going to publish my paper, to the to the reviewers, like I just shared about the peer review group, and the publishers. It is all of their duty to see whether whatever I am publishing is authentic or not. Then they encompass various aspects such as honesty in reporting research, finding, attribution to authorship, avoidance of plagiarism, and the responsible handling of conflicts of interest. So पब्लिकेशन एथिक्स में क्या आ जाएगा कि एक तो आप अपनी जो रिसर्च है, यू आर रिपोर्टिंग इट ऑनेस्टली, you are giving proper attribution to authorship. Like last time, I don't remember, Neetu or who had discussed about ghost authorship. This we will be touching here also. So properly giving credit to everybody who has contributed to your paper, avoidance of plagiarism, and responsible handling of conflict of interest. So then next is, what is the importance of publication ethics, integrity, and credibility, right? So it ensures that the research published is accurate, reliable, and trustworthy.
Winters are here.
Then it helps to prevent misconduct such as plagiarism, data fabrication, and falsification. I will not be discussing in detail because I think we have already discussed it many times. So next is proper attribution of authorship ensures that individuals receive credit for their work. Then ethical practices require disclosure and management of conflicts of interest, and adhering to ethical standards promotes fairness in the review and पब्लिकेशन प्रोसेस. सो पब्लिकेशन एथिक्स आपको जरूर पता होने चाहिए. उनका क्या एडवांटेज है कि आपकी जो रिसर्च है वो एक्यूरेट होगी, रिलायबल होगी, फॉल्सिफिकेशन नहीं होगी, उसमें फैब्रिकेशन नहीं होगी, प्लेजरिज्म अवॉइड करोगे आप. ठीक है, जो भी आपके साथ हेल्प कर रहा है यू विल मेंशन दैट ऑथर. आप ऐसे नहीं करोगे कि ओके ये मेरी फ्रेंड है या ये मेरा रिलेटिव है तो आई विल ऐड द नेम इन द लिस्ट ऑफ ऑथर्स. किसी को क्या पता चलना है. सो दीज sort of things will not happen if you are aware of the publication ethics. So अब ये publication ethics जो है ये initiative जो है इसमें उसका स्टैंडर्ड कैसे मेंटेन होता है. तो उसके लिए डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ कमेटीज हैं जो कि इनिशिएटिव लेती हैं ताकि जो भी आपका रिसर्च वर्क है दैट शुड बी ऑफ स्टैंडर्ड. इट शुड बी प्लेजरिज्म फ्री, should be free from fabrication, and all the review of literature, like from where you are taking your research, whatever authors research you are taking, they should be mentioned. And for that different committees are there, and we will just be discussing a few of them. First is the international committee, the committee on publication ethics, which is known as COPE also. This provides resources and supports for editors and publishers to promote integrity in research and its publications. Its guidelines cover various aspects of publication ethics, including authorship, conflict of interest, and handling misconduct. तो पहली जो बॉडी है जो हमें हेल्प करती है पब्लिकेशन में, जिसकी गाइडलाइंस को we can follow, is the Committee on Publication Ethics. वो किस किस चीज पे गाइडलाइंस करती है कि if you have to publish a paper, वो उसमें क्या क्या होना चाहिए, conflicts of interest अगर हैं वो कैसे मैनेज होंगे, और अगर मिसकंडक्ट है उसको कैसे हैंडल करना है. सो दिस कमेटी गिव्स guidelines for all this. Then there is Association of Medical Editors, or WAME. This is for the students who are doing research in pharmacy and the allied fields. So it is a global organization of editors of peer reviewed medical journals. So peer reviewed, I have already told you that if you are doing, say, in medicine, the people who are proficient in the field of medicine, or the doctors, they will be reviewing your paper, and the guidelines focus on transparency, best practices in scholarly publishing, and promoting ethical standards. So wherever the research concerns the human being or the medicine, there we have to be very careful that we are maintaining the ethical standards. Then there is the International Committee of Medical Journal Editors, ICMJE, which provides recommendations for conduct, reporting, editing, and publication of work in medical journals. They also address issues such as authorship, conflict of interest, and ethical consideration in research. So both these, WAME and ICMJE, they are concerned with research in the field of medicines. Then there is a directory of open access journals. This you would have come across, and I think last week also someone discussed it. DOAG. It is a community curated online directory that indexes and provides access to high quality open access peer reviewed journals. So it is a directory which will lead you to high quality peer reviewed journals. Then its principles emphasize transparency, best practices, and ethical standards in open access publishing. So these are the four journals which tell you about the publication ethics. There are more also, I've just taken these. So COPE, we have already discussed. COPE means the Committee on Publication Ethics. So this is what all it addresses: the study design and ethical approval, data analysis, authorship, conflicts of interest, peer review process, redundant publication, plagiarism, what are the duties of the editors, media relation, advertising, and how to deal with misconduct. So, this is a little about the International Committee of Medical Journal Editors. It was established in 1978 in Vancouver and develops the roles and responsibilities of authors and these contributors. How you will prepare your manuscript. So, many of you might have submitted paper in different journals and each journal has its own guidelines. ठीक है, सबकी अपनी guidelines होती है कि आपका जो abstract है वो इतना होना चाहिए, आपकी जो font size है वो ऐसी होनी चाहिए, spacing इतनी होनी चाहिए. So इसमें जैसे ये बता रहे हैं कि what are the steps of manuscript preparation, submission and editorial issues related to publication, and the requirements for manuscripts submitted to biomedical journals were drafted by ICMJE. And then similarly about the World Association of Medical Editors. So you can just read it. Then after that, we come to the next we come to publication misconduct. Is the screen visible? Hello?
No, ma'am.
Just give me a minute. Is it visible now?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Can you see it now, beta?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we were studying about the different journals and now quickly I will just go through publication misconduct. Right. So publication misconduct refers to the negligent practices that violate accepted standards of research integrity and honesty. So this we will not discuss now. I hope it is clear to everybody. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
We had discussed it in scientific misconduct also, fabrication, falsification, plagiarism, redundant publication, and salami slicing, right? And we had also discussed the causes why generally people tend to do misconduct. And in publication also, misconduct is done because of the publish or perish culture. Like I already told you that in certain institution they tell ki you will get the yearly increment only if you publish these many papers in so many journals or if you have so many number of patents. So for this generally people or researchers they tend to do misconduct just to increase the number of their papers. So publish or perish culture, career pressures, lack of ethical training. If we are not aware that this it is unethical, then we might indulge into this. Poor mentorship or supervision. Like if you don't have a supervisor or a mentor to guide your research, you might indulge in misconduct. Competition and personal ambition and ignorance of the publication standards, right? Then in the publication ethics, there can be violation by the authors and contribution. So authorship ethics क्या होता है कि whom all to give credit and who bears the responsibility for the research. So as I already told you that there are different criteria by different guiding bodies, like we studied COPE, ICMG and all. So they give guidelines that who all can be called and authored for the research, right? So an author should meet all of the following. So an example is given that the author should meet all of the following, like he or she should contribute to the conception, design, data collection or analysis, drafting or revising the manuscript, approval of the final version and accountability for the works integrated. तो किसी भी रिसर्च का ऑथर कौन है कि एक तो उसने जो भी रिसर्च की है उसकी प्रॉपर कंट्रीब्यूशन हो उसको कंसीव करने में, डिजाइन करने में, डाटा कलेक्ट करने में, एनालाइज करने में, जो भी मैन्यूस्क्रिप्ट है उसको उसने पढ़ा हो, रिवाइज किया हो, उसके फाइनल वर्जन की अप्रूवल ली हो और वो अकाउंटेबिलिटी ले कि यस व्हाट एवर रिसर्च हैज बीन डन, आई एम रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर दिस. देन वायलेशन ऑफ पब्लिकेशन एथिक्स. ठीक है, उसके बाद आपका आता है कॉमन ऑथरशिप मिसकंडक्ट. तो दिस ऑल्सो लास्ट टाइम वी हैड ऑलरेडी डिस्कस्ड. वन इज घोस्ट. घोस्ट क्या होता है? भूत. ठीक है, तो अ सिग्निफिकेंट कंट्रीब्यूटर इज एक्सक्लूडेड फ्रॉम द ऑथर लिस्ट. कि मेरी रिसर्च में किसी ने हेल्प की है बट आई डोंट वांट टू ऐड his or her name and I remove his name from the author list. And this is often seen in industry sponsored research. Industry sponsored research में क्या होता है कि किसी जो academic के साथ related है उससे वो research करवा लेते हैं and at times his or her name is not given. So it hides accountability कि अगर एक author है ही नहीं जिसने काम किया है, तो हमने ऊपर पढ़ा है criteria में कि जो authorship ethics क्या है कि जो author जिसने काम किया उसका नाम होना चाहिए because he is accountable for the research. तो इसमें क्या है, किसी की accountability नहीं रहती proper and it misrepresents true contributions. Second is guest or gift authorship. So one is कि we have removed the name. Another is we are adding the name of individuals who have made little or no contribution. कि ठीक है मैंने अपने बॉस को खुश करना है, तो although the boss hasn't helped me out, I add his name. या मैंने किसी इंस्टीट्यूशन को ज्वाइन करना है, उसके हेड का नाम डाल देती हूँ कि वो मुझे वहां पे जॉब पे रख सकता है. सो इसमें क्या है, मोटिवेशन क्या है इसके पीछे आपकी? पावर डायनामिक्स एंड करियर एडवांटेज कि इट विल बी हेल्पफुल. मुझे क्या फर्क पड़ता है अगर एक मैं दो नाम डाल भी दूंगी. सो दैट इज रॉन्ग. सो इट डीवैल्यूज द रियल कंट्रीब्यूशन. जिसने रियली कंट्रीब्यूट किया है उसको वो डीवैल्यू करता है और एथिकल स्टैंडर्ड्स को बिल्कुल खत्म करता है. गेस्ट ऑथरशिप. देन डिस्प्यूट्स एंड मिस रिप्रेजेंटेशन. इसमें क्या होता है? इन्फ्लेट जैसे बलून को आप इन्फ्लेट करते हो, हवा भरना. सो इन्फ्लेटेड ऑथर लिस्ट मतलब बहुत सारे लोगों के मैंने नाम डाल दिए हैं. ठीक है. देन डिसएग्रीमेंट ओवर ऑथर ऑर्डर. तो फिर कई बार सबकी लड़ाई होती है. कई जो एपीए स्कोर में फर्स्ट इट यूज्ड टू बी की whoever is the first author will get more marks, right? So ऑथर ऑर्डर की फर्स्ट नेम मेरा आना चाहिए कि सेकंड आना चाहिए. एंड एक्सक्लूडिंग जूनियर रिसर्चर्स अनफेयरली. तो ऑथरशिप मिसकंडक्ट में क्या है कि जो मेरे से जूनियर है, राइट, उनको मैं एक्सक्लूड कर दूंगी बिकॉज आई एम सीनियर टू द person. So these are the various disputes and misconducts in the authorship. So why authorship ethics matter? Because it implies credibility and responsibility. Misrepresentation undermines trust, accountability and fairness, and it protects earlier career researchers. जैसे हमने ऊपर पॉइंट पढ़ा है कि जो सीनियर रिसर्चर्स हैं दे में से कि जो जूनियर्स हैं उनका नाम हम ऐड नहीं करेंगे, सो दैट इज व्हाई ethics in authorship also matters a lot. So publication हो गया, authorship ethics हो गया. Now we come to the predatory animals भी आपने सुना होगा. So predatory animals क्या होते हैं? Yes. हाँ जी, बोलो. Yes. है?
जो दूसरे एनिमल को खाते हैं मैम.
हाँ, जो दूसरे एनिमल्स को खाते हैं वो क्या हो गए आपके प्रीडेटरी एनिमल्स. तो प्रीडेटरी जर्नल्स क्या होंगे? यस, प्रीडेटरी जर्नल्स क्या होंगे? एक्सप्लॉयटेटिव एंटिटीज दैट प्रायोरिटाइज सेल्फ इंटरेस्ट ओवर स्कॉलरली इंटीग्रिटी. इसका क्या मतलब हो गया कि प्रायोरिटाइज मतलब वो अपना इंटरेस्ट देखते हैं कि हमारे पास पैसे आने चाहिए, और स्कॉलरली इंटीग्रिटी या एथिक्स को वो नहीं देखते हैं. दे एंगेज इन अनएथिकल प्रैक्टिसेस सच एज मिसलीडिंग इंफॉर्मेशन, lack of proper peer review and aggressive solicitation of manuscripts. ठीक है, तो जो प्रीडेटरी जर्नल्स हैं उनमें क्या है कि जो हमने चीजें पहले बोली थी कि जो अच्छे जर्नल्स हैं उनमें पीयर रिव्यू होता है, तो उसमें क्या है कि पीयर रिव्यू नहीं होगा, वो मिसलीड करेंगे आपको इंफॉर्मेशन की हमारा इतना जो जर्नल है उसका इम्पैक्ट फैक्टर है, और मैन्यूस्क्रिप्ट्स को अग्रेसिव सॉलिटिसेशन ऑफ मैन्यूस्क्रिप्ट. सो कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स क्या है? मिसलीडिंग इंफॉर्मेशन, ये ऊपर बता दिया मैंने आपको. पीयर रिव्यू नहीं होता है. देन frequently send unsolicited emails to researchers urging them to submit their work for a fee. वो कहते हैं कि आप हमें इतनी फी दे दो, हम आपका जो वो है उसको हम पब्लिश कर देंगे पेपर को. एंड बहुत ज्यादा उनकी फीस होती है, बिकॉज जो अच्छे जर्नल्स हैं अगर आपने उनमें पेपर भेजा हो कभी तो वो उसमें काफी टाइम लग जाता है, 6 मंथ से भी ज्यादा कई बार. और लेकिन जो प्रीडेटरी जर्नल्स हैं वो आपको कहते हैं कि ओके आप 4000 दे दो, तो नेक्स्ट हमारा जो इशू आ रहा है अगले वीक उसमें आपका पेपर आ जाएगा, तो वो बहुत सारी फीस लेते हैं. ठीक है. सो व्हाई, नेक्स्ट इज व्हाई दे आर हार्मफुल. They publish low quality or unreviewed research, mislead readers, policymakers, and clinicians, damage author credibility and academic careers, waste research funding, and corrupt the scientific रिकॉर्ड. तो जो भी उस रिकॉर्ड को पढ़ रहा है, जो भी उस पेपर को पढ़ रहा है, हो सकता है वो स्टूडेंट उसी रिसर्च को कहीं आगे यूज करे, तो वो जो भी रिकॉर्ड है साइंस का उसको वो करप्ट करते हैं. अब उसको अवॉइड आपने कैसे करना है? अब आपने अपने पेपर्स पब्लिश करने हैं तो आपने कैसे अवॉइड करना है कि आप इंडेक्सिंग चेक करोगे जर्नल्स की, स्कोपस, वेब ऑफ साइंस और पबमेड में. पब्लिशर रेपुटेशन को वेरीफाई करो. अपने मेंटोर्स या जो लाइब्रेरियंस हैं उनको बहुत नॉलेज होती है, उनको आप उनकी गाइडलाइंस ले सकते हो कि हम किस में पब्लिश करें. एंड फॉलो कोप, ये हमने ऑलरेडी पढ़ ली है. और ओपन एक्सेस जो है डायरेक्टरी, उसकी गाइडलाइंस को पढ़ो. एंड डोंट फॉल इन द हैंड्स ऑफ द पब्लिशर्स हु आर प्रिंटिंग प्रीडेटरी जर्नल्स. तो जो आइडेंटिफिकेशन है प्रीडेटरी जर्नल्स की, उसके लिए कुछ लिस्ट सी, एक बियॉल्स लिस्ट है, लेकिन ये अब 2020 से अभी ये बंद हो गई है. ही वाज अ लाइब्रेरियन और उसने एक पब्लिशर्स की लिस्ट जो है वो प्रिंट की, जो उसको लग रहा था कि प्रीडेटरी है. फिर लोगों ने उसके ऊपर मतलब ये एक्शन ले लिया. दे फाइल्ड अ सूट अगेंस्ट हिम, और फिर उसके बाद अभी वो बंद हो गई है, बट इट वाज वेरी पॉपुलर till 2020, right? Then think check summit एक वैसे ही है जर्नल की एक इंटरनेशनल इनिशिएटिव है. तो ये आपको नेट पे भी मिल जाएगा. इसमें जैसे थिंक है फर्स्ट स्टेप, उसके नीचे उन्होंने बहुत सारे पॉइंट्स बनाए हैं कि आपने कहाँ पे सबमिट करना है. इसी तरह चेक के नीचे बहुत सारी गाइडलाइंस हैं, राइट? और सबमिट मतलब एक चेकलिस्ट है, थिंक के नीचे, चेक के नीचे और सबमिट के नीचे. एंड दैट कैन हेल्प यू टू submit your paper. So This I've already discussed. This is just repetition. Then for ethics, right? Your study design should also be approved. ठीक है, आफ्टर जर्नल्स क्या है कि जो भी आप लेबोरेटरी और क्लिनिकल रिसर्च कर रहे हो, जैसे फार्मेसी में, साइंस में, राइट, इट शुड बी ड्रिवन बाय प्रोटोकॉल एंड अप्रूव्ड बाय द एथिक्स कमेटी. मैंने आपको शुरू में बताया था कि हर एक इंस्टीट्यूशन में एक एथिकल कमेटी होती है जो कि अप्रूव करती है. जब आपने ह्यूमन सब्जेक्ट्स या एनिमल्स पे कोई भी स्टडी करनी हो तो आपको उसका अप्रूवल लेना पड़ेगा. देन रिसर्च प्रोटोकॉल्स शुड सीक आंसर टू स्पेसिफिक क्वेश्चंस रादर देन जस्ट कलेक्टिंग डाटा. Agreement on protocols, rule of contributors, statistical tools, इन्फॉर्म्ड कंसेंट फ्रॉम ह्यूमन सब्जेक्ट्स. इन्फॉर्म्ड कंसेंट मतलब किसी भी ह्यूमन बीइंग पे आप स्टडी कर रहे हो उसका कंसेंट होना चाहिए. फॉर एग्जांपल अगर मैंने स्टूडेंट्स का भी डाटा लेना है, स्कूल के स्टूडेंट्स का, तो दे शुड बी अवेयर ऑफ इट कि मैं उनको बताऊंगी कि बेटा ये जो आपका है, दिस आई हैव टू यूज फॉर रिसर्च पर्पस. देयर कंसेंट शुड बी देयर. एनिमल एक्सपेरिमेंट्स एंड क्वालिटी कंट्रोल and the frequent review and long term retention may be up to 15 years of all records and primary outputs. तो जो भी आपका study design है, that has to be approved. Then there should be informed consent, and quality control means that whatever data you have collected at least up to 15 years, you should maintain the data so that if anyone wants to review, he or she may review. राइट. सो ये सिर्फ एक जनरल गाइडलाइंस है, तब दैट इज व्हाई आई एम गोइंग क्विकली ओवर इट. Then data analysis. Data, when you are doing data analysis, whatever the sources of your data are there, that should be disclosed. For example, if I am doing a study on students, I have to attach the list of schools from where I have collected the data. Methods of analysis must be explained in detail and referenced. Analyze कैसे किया आपने डाटा को, वो पूरी क्लैरिटी होनी चाहिए आपके रिजल्ट में. Post hoc analysis of subgroups is acceptable as long as it is disclosed. Post hoc analysis जो ग्रुप्स का बाद में अगर आपने एनालिसिस करना है, you can do it, but it should be disclosed also. And the discussion section जो लास्ट में आपका सेक्शन होता है, आपने शायद लगा लिया है, मेरे ख्याल एक वर्कशॉप थी आपकी कि what are the different steps of writing your thesis. तो लास्ट में हमारा होता है डिस्कशन ऑफ रिजल्ट्स, कि जो भी आपके रिजल्ट्स आए हैं उनको आप डिस्कस करते हो. तो कोई भी अगर आपको बायसनेस लग रही है और आपने कैसे उसको डील किया है, दिस यू शुड राइट इन योर डिस्कशन. देन अगेन इट इज ऑलरेडी डन. ऑथरशिप क्रेडिट देना चाहिए. अर्ली प्लानिंग ऑफ कंट्रीब्यूशन, अकाउंटेबिलिटी होनी चाहिए. केयरफुल रीडिंग ऑफ द टारगेट जर्नल. अगर आपने किसी पेपर में किसी जर्नल में अपना पेपर देना है तो एडवाइस टू ऑथर्स लिखा होता है. जैसे मैंने बताया कि डिफरेंट जर्नल्स की डिफरेंट रिक्वायरमेंट्स हैं, तो यू हैव टू डू इट दैट वे, राइट. Then peer review, I have already told you. External experts who are chosen by the editors. ठीक है, ये I will share the PPT, you can just go through it. It is just repetition. Redundant publication, we have already discussed earlier also. When two or more papers without cross reference share the same hypothesis, data, discussion points or conclusions, then these are the duties of the editors. ये भी आप इसको रीड कर सकते हो. It should be based on the paper's importance, originality, clarity. Studies that challenge previous work should be given a special sympathetic hearing. मतलब अगर कोई स्टडी आपको लग रही है प्रीवियस स्टडी को चैलेंज कर रही है, उसको जरूर ध्यान से पढ़ो और उसको प्रिंट करना चाहिए. ठीक है. स्टडीज रिपोर्टिंग नेगेटिव रिजल्ट शुड नॉट बी इंक्लूडेड. दिस आई हैव ऑलरेडी टोल्ड यू. कई बार हम अपने पर्सनल इंटरेस्ट के लिए नेगेटिव रिजल्ट्स को नहीं पब्लिश करते हैं, पर अगर जर्नल में आपको कोई ऐसी स्टडी आ रही है जिसमें आपको लग रहा है नेगेटिव रिजल्ट्स हैं, उसको जरूर ऐड करो, क्योंकि हो सकता है कोई उसको दोबारा से स्टडी करे और जो हमारे प्रीवियस रिजल्ट्स हैं वो चेंज्ड हो जाएं, राइट। देन पीयर रिव्यूड बिफोर पब्लिकेशन, की पीयर रिव्यू होना चाहिए। अब आप नेक्स्ट टाइम कोई जर्नल देखोगे तो उसके आगे देखना, जर्नली जो अच्छे जर्नल्स हैं उसमें जो पूरा पीयर रिव्यू का बोर्ड होता है वो मेंशन्ड होता है, ठीक है, कि दिस जर्नल इज peer reviewed by so and so. Editors must treat all submitted papers as confidential. When it contains major flaws, they must accept responsibility for correcting the record prominently and promptly. तो अगर आपसे कुछ गलत पब्लिश हो गया है एज एन एडिटर और आपको उसके बारे में पता चला है, तो you should take the responsibility and correct it. Then editors should not reject papers that raise questions of misconduct. They are obliged ethically to pursue the case. However, knowing how to investigate and respond to possible cases is difficult. तो अगर आप एक जर्नल के एडिटर हो, आप बनोगे भी आगे जाके, तो उसमें क्या है कि आपने रिजेक्ट नहीं करना। अगर आपको लग रहा है कि इसमें मिसकंडक्ट है तो आप उसको परस्यू करो और आपको पता होना चाहिए कि मैंने इसको कैसे क्लोज करना है। सो कोप हमने पहले ही पढ़ा है, जो कमेटी है पब्लिकेशन एथिक्स की, वो हमेशा एडवाइस करती है, बट फॉर लीगल रीजन कैन एडवाइज ऑन अनोनमाइज्ड। मतलब अनोनमाइज्ड मतलब उसमें जो भी पर्सन है उसका नेम नहीं रिवील होगा, and it is for the editor what action to take. So once you are the editor, you have the full responsibility of publishing a paper. So this was about publication ethics. तो आज हमने एक तो conflict of interest पढ़ा है क्या है, और publication ethics पढ़ा है, जिसमें कि हमने पढ़ा है कि while publication, what are the responsibilities of author, what are the responsibility of the editor of a journal, right? So I will be sharing the PPT and a question for your assignment. On Monday, I will share it in the group itself, right? Is it okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
right. ठीक है बेटा. So now, Ghazal, can we have your presentation?
Yes, ma'am.
And what's your topic? Yes, you may start, beta.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Today, I'm going to talk about publication ethics. As ma'am have discussed this topic already, but I'm trying to explain it in my own way. Uh, First one is, what is publication ethic? Uh, it refers to the moral rules and professional behavior that researchers should follow while publishing their work. It it ensures that honesty, transparency, and fairness in research publication. In easy language, we can say that it while publishing the research paper, we should we should publish the research paper in a truthful and responsible manner so that other people can trust it. Second one is introduction. And research uh, research is valuable only when it is shared through publication. However, publishing without ethic can mislead the readers and harm the society. It applies to everyone involved in the publication process: data, author, editors, reviewers, and publisher. Ethical publishing, it helps us to maintain the quality and reliability of the academic research. Next one is, why do we need publication ethic? We need publication ethic because research finding influence real world decisions such as medical treatment, policies, and technology. If we publish the research dishonestly, then it can cause serious harm. Ethic ensure that research findings are reliable and it is beneficial for our society. If we don't follow the ethic, it will lose academic research will lose its credibility. Next one is importance of publication ethic. It protects the originality of research work. It makes sure that author receive proper credit for their ideas, Ethical publishing prevent fraud and misconduct. It also helps us to maintain the reputation of researchers, institutions, and journals. Basically, ethic improves trust in academic knowledge. Next one is common ethical issue in publication. There are many ethical problems which we can see in academic publication. Some issues are include plagiarism, fabrication, falsification, duplicate publication, and improper authorship. These practices are considered serious misconduct and are strictly discouraged by journals and institutions. Now, plagiarism. It means copying someone else's work without giving him or her credit. It can include copying text, ideas, figures, or even we can even once on previously published work. It is unethical and can result in rejection, retraction, or loss of academic reputation. Next one is authorship ethic. Authorship should be given only to those who have made significant contribution to the research. Adding someone as an author without contribution or excluding a deserving contributor, it is really very unethical practice. All authors should approve the final version of the manuscript. It is essential that clear communication among research team member. Next one is the role of editors and reviewers. Editors and reviewers play a very important role in ethical publishing. Editor must treat all manuscript fairly and confidently.
आप उनसे बात
Reviewers
करें
should evaluate manuscript honestly and avoid conflict of interest. Peer review also make sure that
ए
the quality and
ए मोहन अरे आपका फोन में तो बात करिए सकते हैं दीजिए
hello hello Nam, can I continue?
Yes, I don't know who has put his mic on. You may, beta.
Okay. Um, Next one is the what are ethical guidelines and standards? Ethical guidelines are the formal rules that help us to maintain the ethical standards in publication. They provide guidance on how to handle misconduct. Organizations like COP and WAME are widely accepted ethical standard followed by reputed journals worldwide. COP, Committee on Publication Ethics. It is an international organization that promotes ethical publishing. It supports editors and publishers in handling ethical issues. It provides practical advice and tools for dealing with publication misconduct. Many leading journals are member of COP. COP best practices and guidelines. Uh, it provides detailed guidelines for editors and publishers. It offers flowchart to deal with issues like plagiarism, fabrication, retraction, and authorship dispute. These guidelines promote us transparency, fairness, and accountability in the publication. It helps journals to maintain high ethical standards. Next one is WAME, World Association of Medical Editors. It focuses on medical and health related publication. Its goal is to improve the quality of medical research publishing. It supports editor by providing ethical guidelines and training. It emphasizes patient safety and honest reporting of research result. WAME ethical guidelines. Uh, WAME guidelines stress ethical authorship and transparent reporting. They require disclosure of conflict of interest. Uh, Editors and reviewers must follow the ethical peer review practices. These guidelines help us to maintain the trust in medical research publication. There are many other standard guidelines also, such as ICMJE, which provide authorship and clinical research standards, and publisher like Elsevier and Springer also have ethical toolkits. Uh, Most reputed journals follow more than one ethical framework. Consequences of unethical publication. Unethical publication. It can lead to serious consequences such as articles may be retracted and authors may be banned from the journals. Researchers can lose funding, jobs, or academic degree. Such misconduct can permanently damage a researcher career. Best practices for ethical publishing. According to author should always produce original work and cite sources properly. They must follow journal guidelines carefully. Conflict of interest should be disclosed honestly, and ethical behavior help us to build trust and long-term academic success. Next one is the ethical culture in research. uh, Ethical publishing should be a part of our academic culture. Institutions should provide ethic trainings. Researchers should be aware of ethical guidelines and promoting ethical value, which will strengthen the research environment. Last one is the conclusion. In conclusion, I can say that publication ethic is very important for maintaining trust in research. Organization like COP and WAME help us to ensure that ethical standards worldwide. Ethical publishing, it supports the progress of science and benefit to the society, and every researcher has a responsibility to follow the ethical practices. Thank you, ma'am. I hope my presentation helped you to understand the importance of publication ethic. Thank you, everyone.
Very nice, Ghazal. Yeah, it was a very good presentation. Anyone wants to ask something? Yes. So she has discussed about the publication ethics and what are the various guidelines which can be followed by us for publishing our paper. So Kulvinder, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Hanji, so just before you make your presentation, I would just take 1 minute to take your attendance. Sanjeev Kumar, Paramjeet, Maheshwari,
Present, ma'am.
Neetu,
Present, ma'am. Present, ma'am.
yeah, Amanpreet, Sunil, Navdeep Kaur, Amandeep Kaur, Uma Shankar Garg,
Yes, ma'am.
okay, Saugat, Rakesh, Anand, Suruchi, Pooja Rani,
Yes, ma'am.
Kulvinder,
Yes, ma'am.
Jatinder, Yuvraj, Nirmal Singh, Ekta, Pooja.
Yes,
Then,
ma'am.
Pooja, you are repeating your attendance or there are two Poojas?
Ma'am, I'm Pooja Jamtani.
Okay. And what is your subject?
Pharmaceutical sciences, ma'am.
Okay. Vinod Kumar, Varsha, Soumya, Sumedha, Neeraj, Shamama, Dipinder, Mandeep, Jaswinder Kaur,
Present, ma'am.
hmm, then Anuradha, Bhavna, Pratyush, Ghazal was
Yes,
there.
ma'am. Present, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah,
Ma'am,
yeah.
I'm also present. Actually, I'm in the hospital now. I'm unable to connect that. I'm
Anuradha.
Anuradha. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, okay.
Well, about me,
Ma'am,
present.
Paramjit and present.
Just 1 minute. I'll ask in the, just give me 1 more minute. Abhimanyu, Prem Jaidan, God Lakra, Sadanand was there, I think.
Yes, ma'am.
Sadanand,
Yes, ma'am.
yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Mangal Dio, Ravinder Kumar, Anil,
Paramjit present.
Nivas. Give me 1 minute, don't speak in between. Amrit Pal Singh, then Darshan Chaudhary, Shivani was
Yes,
there.
ma'am.
Shivani. Yeah. Harvinder Singh, Amritpal Singh, Anil, Pankaj, and Athar.
Ma'am,
It was
present.
also there. Yes. Who else is left now? Yes, Paramjeet, I have marked you present. Anyone else? Anji, Paramjeet, I have beta. Anyone else is left? Okay, so now we can move on with
Hello.
the present. Hanji,
Ma'am,
yes.
Darshan Singh is present.
ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक है. Hanji Kulvinder, you may start your presentation.
Yes, ma'am. Presentation is visible or? Hello.
No, it is not visible.
Now it is visible, ma'am.
No, I am not able to see it. Just give me a minute. Others, can you see it?
Yes, ma'am.
It is visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just you may start, Kulvinder.
Okay, ma'am. I am Kulvinder Singh, and today my topic is plagiarism and redundant publication. The word plagiarism is basically derived from Latin word that is plagiary, which means to kidnap or abduct. Plagiarism is basically copying someone's work, research, or idea without any permission or acknowledgement. Plagiarism include copying your friend's paper, using someone's words or idea, copying someone text or other photo without any citation or acknowledgement. There are different type of plagiarism, that is complete plagiarism, source-based plagiarism, direct plagiarism, self-plagiarism, accidental plagiarism, mosaic plagiarism, paraphrasing plagiarism, and inaccurate authorship. These are the 8 type of plagiarism. First one is complete plagiarism. In this, a researcher take a manuscript by submitting his name. Second one is a source base. In a source base, when a research error reference a source that is incorrect or does not exist, it is a misleading citation. For example, the writer might reference a secondary source in their work, but only credit the primary source from which that secondary source is derived. Other example including citing an incorrect source, even making up a source. Next type is a direct plagiarism. It is different from complete plagiarism. In complete plagiarism, there is a copying all the data, but in a direct plagiarism, the copy of some section without any citation. Self-plagiarism, copying our own work, previous work without any citation. Accidental plagiarism, whether it is intentional or unintentional, it is accidental. In intentional plagiarism, rewriting from books or article, copying and pasting from web pages, online source to create and patchwork writing. In unintentional plagiarism, the author doesn't know how to cite, how to paraphrase or summarize, not knowing what common knowledge is. Basically, it is recycling a old paper. Both types are subject to disciplinary action. Next is mosaic plagiarism. In mosaic, it is very difficult to detect because it rewrites the someone else text with its own research. Example of a patchwork plagiarism is taking clause from source and embedding it in the sentence of your own. Next is paraphrasing. Plagiarism. In this type of plagiarism, we use someone else writing with a minor change or paraphrasing it. For example, if you are present someone else's original idea in your own writing without crediting them, then it is a plagiarism. Inaccurate authorship. It occur in two ways. In one form, when an individual contributes to an manuscript but does not get credit for it. And second form is opposite, when an individual get credit without any contribution in the research. There are different another types of plagiarism also, like plagiarism of a word, in which a sequence of 7 or more words from other source is put in our own research without any citation. Then plagiarism of a structure. It is the use of another's logical order in an essay type step of reasoning in a paragraph or section. Then plagiarism of idea. In this, copying someone's idea, opinion, thought in such a way that his work does not seem like it has been plagiarized. Plagiarism of authorship. It is a wrongful appropriation and stealing and publication of others' authors' language, thought, idea, or expression in our own original work. How to avoid plagiarism? First is a citation, second is a quotation, third is a paraphrasing. Quite simply cite your source from which we are getting our information should be citation. Next is a quotation. In quotation, use exact text from where you copy the text and cite it. Why do we cite our sources? To get credit to the author, to provide evidence to support your research so that reader can locate the source you are citing, and to avoid plagiarism. Why you need to cite, or when you need to cite? When you quote someone, when you make a claim statement, when you summarize information from other research paper, and when you use someone's idea. When you did not need to cite, when a familiar quotation, that is example, an apple a day keep the doctor away. Or paraphrase or summarize. Paraphrase the statement with the citation and summarize the idea with the citation. Next is the example of plagiarism. A Dutch publisher, more than a dozen theses may no longer be valid, putting not only staple reputation but also former student degree at risk. This is the psychologist which plagiarized all his work. Next is B.S. Rajput. It was the vice chancellor of Common University. Tools for detection of plagiarism. There are different tools to detect, like Urkund, Tantanin, CopyLeaks. Then penalty for student. If there is a plagiarism below 10%, there is no penalty. When there is 10 to 40% plagiarism, resubmit his revised thesis. When there is 40 to 60, student will submit the revised thesis for 1 year. Above 60%, the registration will be cancelled permanently. And for teachers, below 10%, no penalty. 10 to 40% withdraw the manuscript. 40 to 60, debate to supervised master student for 2 years. And above 60%, suspend. The next topic is a redundant publication. It is also known as a duplicate publication. When we publish someone's other research finding without any disclosure or without any citation. There are different types of redundant publication. One is duplicate publication, slicing, overlapping publication. In a duplicate publication, author present the same finding in multiple publication, either in same language or different language, and submit the same manuscript in more than one journal. Then other is a salami slicing. In a salami slicing, someone divide a single study into several smaller publication, then overlapping publication. In overlapping publication, submit the publication that shares significant portion with the previously published work, but include some new finding. In a slamming study, publication, one can create many paper from one single idea or experiment. When author break up a large study into two or more smaller publication, they are creating slices of their work. Why do authors do it? To increase their publication count, to get more recognition, to achieve faster career progression, to receive more funding. What is salami slicing? There is an example. Imagine you have just completed control study in the birthing center. You have two results, one on mother and one on infant. Editor, when the publisher submitted two papers, one on mother and one on infant, there should be, this is considered salami slicing. Why it is unethical? It is unethical because the study breaks into separate study. It is harmful to science because reader may believe that each slice is independent of another study. It increases the quantity of literature instead of quality. It leads to self-plagiarism. Then a responsible publishing practice. Consolidate data, avoiding dividing a single study into multiple publications. Follow journal publication. Authors should follow the journal policies. Collaborate and communication. Engage in collaboration and open communication to prevent a redundant publication among a researcher group. Thank you.
कुलविंदर, it was very good. बहुत अच्छी बनाई है आपने.
Thank you, ma'am.
But you seem to be in a hurry. है ना, जल्दी में. It was very good. बहुत अच्छी slides हैं. Anyone has any question? बहुत elaborately और अच्छे तरीके से he has explained the different types of plagiarism also. है ना, and with the good images. So anyone wants to ask anything or discuss anything? So I think all of you are almost ready for your exam now. है ना? We have discussed all these things so many times, and I'm very good. You are making very good presentation. 6 of the students have given, and all of them were one above the other. बहुत अच्छी थी सबकी, and you have worked very hard, and I'm very happy that you have done good work. Anyone else has something to say?
Ma'am, it's a humble request. If you share the assignment questions today, so it will be easy for us to work upon it as
Okay.
we have one
So
more
you
day
just give
Sunday.
me half an hour. By 12:30, maybe by 12:30, I'll just share it.
Thank you so
Right?
much, ma'am. Thank you.
हाँ,
Thank
हाँ.
you.
ठीक है. So next week also, you should keep your presentations ready, and these will be helpful for you also. And I am also learning very many new things, and I am really enjoying, the class, and I really wait for it also. So many good things to learn. And Kulvinder, you have made it on your own के help ली है किसी की?
नहीं मैम, खुद बनाई है.
बहुत अच्छी है. It was very good.
रेफरेंस
Very
भी
nice.
मैंने लास्ट स्लाइड में लिखी है, जिससे स्लाइड से.
अच्छा. नहीं, बहुत अच्छी तरह आपने डिटेल में एक्सप्लेन किया है. और गजल की भी बहुत अच्छी थी. नीतू, ऑल जिन्होंने लास्ट वीक भी किया, पूजा, ऑल वर वेरी गुड. सो यू ऑल आर
Thank you.
डूइंग वेरी गुड वर्क, एंड आई होप कि रिसर्च में भी आप ऐसा ही करोगे. आई एम वेरी श्योर अबाउट दैट. ठीक है
डिजाइन
बेटा.
कब है?
Okay, ma'am.
एग्जाम
Thank
अभी बच्चे we will let you know the date sheet अभी, है ना?
ठीक है, बाकी
ठीक है।
सब्जेक्ट्स का भी सिलेबस मैम शेयर करवा देना।
बाकी का मिल गया आपका, डॉक्टर विक्रम ने किया है शेयर अभी?
नहीं मैम।
No, ma'am. No.
ओके 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 ओके, चलो मैं करवा देती हूँ। आई विल आस्क her टू शेयर विद यू। ठीक है, सो वी मीट नेक्स्ट वीक। ऑल ऑफ यू टेक गुड केयर ऑफ योरसेल्फ, राइट? ओके देन,
Same to you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
ओके ओके
Thank you, ma'am.
ओके बेटा,
Thank you, ma'am.
ओके ओके।